Hi, the case for today is Common Cause versus Union of India and another AIR 2018. The case originated from a public interest litigation filed by Common Cause under Article 32 of the Constitution of India. The organization approached the Supreme Court of India not for an individual patient but to address a systematic gap in Indian law concerning end of life decisions. It argued that in India, patients who are terminally ill or in a permanent vegetative state are often kept alive through artificial life support systems even when there is no reasonable hope of recovery. In such situations, the patient may be unable to communicate their wishes, leaving families and doctors in a state of uncertainty and legal fear. The petitioner contended that this results in prolonged suffering and erosion of human dignity, as the law did not clearly recognize a person's right to refuse life prolonging treatment. It emphasized that the right to live with dignity under Article 21 of the Constitution of India should also include the right to die with dignity, especially in cases of irreversible medical conditions. A significant part of the petition focused on the need to legally recognize advance directives or living wills. These are written documents where individuals, while in a sound state of mind, can specify that they do not wish to be placed on life support if they later become terminally ill or incapable of making decisions. The absence of such legal recognition in India meant that doctors were hesitant to withdraw treatment even when it was medically futile. The petition also pointed out the limitations of the earlier judgment in Aruna Shanabag versus Union of India. Although passive euthanasia had been permitted in that case, it required prior approval from the High Court, making the process slow, complex, and impractical in urgent medical situations. This procedural burden discouraged its actual implementations. Thus, the petitioner sought clear legal recognition of the right to refuse life sustaining treatment, the legality of passive euthanasia, and the validity of living wills, along with simplified and workable safeguards that would protect both patients and medical practitioners. Issues. Issue number 1, whether the right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution of India includes the right to die with dignity. Issue number 2, whether an individual has the right to refuse medical treatment, including life-sustaining treatment. Issue number 3, whether advance directives like living wills should be legally recognized in India. Issue number 4, whether passive euthanasia can be permitted without prior court approval. Judgment. The Supreme Court of India held that the right to die with dignity is an intrinsic part of Article 21 of the Constitution of India. It recognized that forcing a person to undergo prolonged suffering violates their dignity. The Honorable Court legalized passive euthanasia and recognized the validity of living wills, allowing individuals to refuse life-sustaining treatment in advance. It also laid down detailed safeguards, including medical board approvals and procedural checks to prevent misuse. The judgment strengthened the principles of individual autonomy, dignity, and informed consent in medical decision making. A competent adult can execute a living will voluntarily and in writing. It must be signed by the person, attested by 2 witnesses, and countersigned by a judicial magistrate of first class. It should clearly specify refusal of life-sustaining treatment in case of terminal illness or persistent vegetative state. The treating physician must examine the patient and form an initial opinion. A hospital medical board must be constituted to verify the condition. A second medical board, constituted by the district collector, must independently examine the patient. The second board must include doctors with at least 20 years of experience. The judicial magistrate of first class must verify the authenticity of the living will and ensure free consent. In absence of a living will, the family or next friend may decide subject to the same procedure. These safeguards ensure that the decision is informed, voluntary, and free from misuse. Thank you.